I consider everyone that comes on the pod to be at least a friend, even if I've never met them, because everybody could be friends. But guys, I want to introduce you to this incredible person. She has an amazing voice. I had the opportunity to hear her sing last night. It was last night, right? It was
two nights ago.
2 nights ago. And it was just an incredible experience. She has her own songs. She's a songwriter, artist. She does covers as well. And she has a opportunity for you guys to actually listen to her live. She's going to have a live performance just after when this comes out. And a few weeks ago, she actually had live music recording released on YouTube. So I want to introduce you guys to Paige Fennell. Is that correct?
Fennell.
Let me run that back.
Okay.
I literally heard it earlier and I ever thought it because I always say it correctly.
That's so funny.
And then I just... Fennell. Right?
Fennell, yeah.
Fennell, okay. Got friends, I want to introduce you to Paige Fennell.
Fennell.
I said it wrong again. Oh, I'm so tired. Fennell. Why am I saying it wrong?
That's so funny. We're just gonna roll with it.
Bad.
Fennell.
Paige, I want to introduce you guys to Paige Fennell.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
It's a very cool opportunity to be able to come to this place, which I'd love for you to just give a little backstory about how you came to know about it and kind of why we're here. So what is this place that we're actually shooting at right now?
Yeah. So this is Vinyl Coffee in Washington Courthouse in Ohio. And right now we are up in the studio at Vinyl. So Vinyl is, as I said, a coffee shop, small little coffee shop, really aesthetic, really vibey, which is why I love it. And so, I've come here a few times to just grab coffee and just study and read, and other times to perform and play a little show. But yeah, it's a great space. So
yeah, we just got a little sneak peek of the video that's been released for a little while at this point, and it's like the vibe. Yeah, and you sound amazing in it too. Like the songs are really great, and I just love. Whenever I'm listening to music, like I'm studying, I always like to turn on YouTube videos of people performing, because you get like the plants, the nature vibe, which makes you more creative. There's a bunch of cool studies about that, so it's cool. So I want to dive into a little bit about your backstory. So you're into songwriting and performing, and you have a beautiful voice. How did you realize that you liked that and that you liked songwriting and performing? Yeah.
Oh man, it's such...
Let me do a cut. I might go grab the door.
Okay.
They decided to become very happy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow, that actually shuts it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like the sound is very good in this room.
Fantastic start on my part.
Fennell. No, Fennell.
I kept saying it wrong.
That's so funny.
All right. So cool. We're just talking about your backstory with music, how you came to realize that you like enjoyed songwriting and performing and all of that.
Yeah. Yes, quite the story. So I'll try to summarize certain points for you. But I grew up just always loving to sing. But my family, they are athletes, so definitely, and they're incredibly supportive. But I just never really stepped into music growing up as much as I am now. Just because I think in my head, I was like, no, like sports, like people do sports in my family. So I'll just kind of go that route, not on a collegiate level or professionally, just as a hobby. And so kind of just kept music as something I loved on the side. And it wasn't really until college that I was kind of pushed into music, actually. I did not pursue it at all, but started just getting really sweet opportunities to do different things with music. And so I started songwriting in high school, again, just like as a hobby, just something that I enjoyed to do. And came into college, still songwriting a little bit, but like gatekeeping everything. Like I did not want people to know that I did a lot with music, or did a little with music at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when people found out that, like, people would find out that I wrote songs, like,
Okay.
that's how quiet it was. I just was like, no, like, don't really want people to know. But it ended up just going kind of down the grapevine from a friend to a friend. And so I was invited to open for this concert in the town of Cedarville for the Highway Flowers, for anyone who remembers that show. That was back in 2022, 2023. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. But yeah, so I opened for that concert. And then after that, that's really when the opportunities kind of started opening up like this, that we're here now. So yeah,
that's cool. So how did the process of people actually like finding out that you were songwriting, like were they finding your notebooks or something, or like what happened with that?
Yeah, so what happened was sophomore year, I started songwriting more and more. I met a friend of mine who was really into songwriting, and he just really taught me how to do songwriting more. I think up until that point, sophomore year, I was kind of just like taking what I was thinking and feeling and just putting it on a page. And this friend that I met, he was able to write in a way of like using metaphors and stories and bring them together. And that was the songwriting that I was after, but I didn't know how to do yet. So after meeting him and just doing some songwriting with him, which was super helpful, I started writing more and more. And then one day I was in the library at Cedarville at school, and one of my other friends, he literally did just find out that I wrote music. I think I mentioned something about, oh yeah, I was songwriting the other day. And a good friend of mine, and he was like, what? Like, you write songs? And I was like, yeah. So I showed him one, which is actually Coffee Cup, which is now on Spotify.
Yeah.
And he took it to another friend, and then that friend was on the band, the Highway Flowers, that invited me to open for them for the concert.
Okay.
So it was literally just, I think I just made a comment about songwriting, and then it just went
from there.
Yeah, exactly. There. Yeah.
Well, it's cool how God can use that little slip up to make that happen. Like, it goes from you're hiding it, like you're unsure of it, and then he's like, you gave me a moment, I'm gonna run with it, and I'm gonna give it to you.
Exactly.
So you went from there, you had that opening to now where you actually had a live performance. It was filmed, like legit crew, legit production. What has been the journey with that, going from like closed off songwriting to now like performing?
Sure. Yeah. So I think there's kind of like two different avenues. One, just personally, songwriting has been like a really sweet part of my relationship with the Lord, which is hugely integral to who I am as a person. And so songwriting has really become a means of which I can kind of process through what I'm feeling and thinking in really difficult seasons and really great seasons as well. But especially in those difficult seasons where I'm thinking and feeling all of these things and just confused on things, songwriting is a way to articulate those things and then take them in a more organized fashion, which is a song, to the Lord, and to be able to run to him and run to his word with that. So it's really sweet how music has become a huge part of my testimony as well. So I think just on a personal note, that's really where songwriting has played a part in my life too, from sophomore year to now, which is so sweet and such a gift. And then the other avenue is kind of, I guess, officially with music, going from the concert that I did at Cedarville with the Highway Flowers to now, actually someone at the Highway Flowers concert, he was there and he listened to me play, and then he had a friend who was playing about a year later at Vinyl. And so again, just through the grapevine, my name kind of got passed along. And so the guy that was playing here at Vinyl, his name is Tyler Maddox. And so I was able to open for him at a show here at Vinyl back in February of this year. So that's how that happened. And then got connected with Vinyl. Shameless plug. Everyone go to Vinyl. It's incredible. The coffee's great. The vibes are great. But yeah, after that, Branson Moody, he owns Vinyl, and he was super kind just to reach out and ask me to come back several times. And then, we've been in the works of recording some things. And then he also has a YouTube channel called In the Studio, which they're revamping and kind of doing some rebranding with that, which I was able to go on last week and record a couple videos, which are out by now. So, it has really just been people being incredibly generous and very kind. And it has been the Lord time after time after time just putting opportunities in front of me and just allowing me to open doors that I didn't even know were right in front of me. But yeah, it has been the kindness of people and the kindness of the Lord to really give me all these opportunities.
I think in Cedarville, let alone like the Christian space, people love to support people, especially like in like the quote unquote non-famous stages, like quote unquote. Even if you don't become famous, they like love seeing people who are just excellent at what they do, or are really good at what they do, or really talented, and so that can always drive it. And then God will work through people. He works through people. That's how most things become. And so He'll take any little word that's given and work it to however He wants it to give these opportunities that I've had, to opportunities you've had. Some of the really cool people at Cedarville, some of the stuff they're doing is great. There's one guy, he's in the PA program there at Cedarville, and there was a big hit piece against Cedarville about like Christianity in the medical professions, and he did a whole paper in Wall Street Journal. It was an opinionated piece he wrote about on LinkedIn, and so that was all covered too, just defending basically defending the program at Cedarville, saying just because they are Christian, that it's Christian themed, and that the basis of it is Jesus, it doesn't make it illegitimate. Like they're still producing some of the best quality people out there, and that's true in the nursing department. Fantastic nurses, one of the best cyber majors in the world apparently, which I didn't realize. So now they have their own cool spot in the new building, which is so cool. But if they're the best in the world, they should 100%, which is cool. So it's cool to see how God will just use people like that to intertwine it. So I want to transition a little bit. Sure. Senior year.
Yes. Yeah.
At Cedarville. How has your experience been specifically? I want to start with living situation. So you were in Printy for 3 years?
Yes.
3 years, and now you're going to be off campus this year.
That's right.
What has the Printy experience been like with the brosises, the living, like unit style, and like the girls you've lived with? How has that been for you and just impacted you?
Yeah, Printy Hall is a time. For those who don't know, Printy is small and close quarters, and you get really, really tight with the girls that you're with because they're like 2 feet away from you. A lot. So yeah, Printy, I think, played a huge role in shaping me. I think Printy taught me more of the importance of discipleship, of being really intentional, how you're living with the people around you, which is just sweet. I think we are called as believers to also make disciples, to be disciples first of Christ and then to make disciples. So I think living so closely with the girls that you're with has just taught me the importance of that too, of just loving people well, being respectful of people and being intentional with them, of just cultivating a space in which we can have really genuine and raw conversations about where we are and who we are. And so, yeah, that has been sweet. It's been a sweet part for sure of Printy. I think a benefit that I've loved of living off campus is having time to rest and recharge away from people. I'd say I'm definitely introverted in that way. So I think it's been hard at Cedarville being in an environment where we are constantly going all the time. And then there's not a separation in Printy between school and home. It's just
always
you're
social,
just there,
always with people.
Yeah. So, which in one sense is great, and just so many memories and like conversations till literally 3 a.m. Which are amazing. But I think, it is really important to have margin to be by yourself, especially as a believer, and just having time alone with the Lord to study his word and to pray, to spend time with him. Because you can do that and worship him with other people. And that's what we're called to do as the body of Christ. But there's a whole other element, of being alone with the Lord, to spend time with the Lord and to cultivate your relationship with him. So I think now being off campus as a senior and being away from the printy culture of just socializing all the time, go, it has already been really sweet to have some time to just spend intentionally with the Lord by myself. So
the ability to slow down is one thing I've found with the week I've been here in Lawler.
Yes.
It's very hard to do that because you're always with the guys, which is nice. I mean, I was in Brock first year, so you have that opportunity in Brock to just kind of chill in your room, kind of away from everyone. But at Lawler, that's like tough to do, especially like those, like if you're trying to do morning devotion or anything, having time with the Lord, you have to basically leave the unit. So that means you're getting up early after you've definitely stayed up late. It's hard to get to sleep on time there.
Yes.
And actually go out and like find a bench or a table somewhere. And so that's tough because then it's like, oh, you have to get your coffee ready, get dressed for the day because you're going out. You're going to go get food because I'm a breakfast eater. So I'm always hitting Chuck's in the morning. And then you do all of that to go into your class. It's hard to like just wake up and then go and sit and read. Luckily, my roommate's a very deep sleeper. So if I turn on like a lamp, he's out.
He's good.
He's good.
Nice.
But that's not for everyone, obviously.
Right.
So it's not like hating. None of this is hating on Lawler or Printy. It's just the realization of what it is. But the community that you get with the guys and the girls that you have there, like already in a week, I feel closer to the guys than probably a majority of my time in Brock last year.
Yeah.
It was nice to find them and learn about them there kind of separate, so you could like close your door and be like, no.
I need a break.
But then in Lawler, it's like, now we all know each other. We're all hanging and we have our nice coffee set up with the espresso machine.
Oh, it's nicer than I ever had it.
So it's exciting.
Yeah.
So you are a biblical studies major with a concentration in biblical counseling.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Right on.
Right, I got something correct. Yeah. So why that major? Is that the one that you came into school with?
No.
So you have switched.
Yes.
So what has been your academic journey and learning at Cedarville?
Yeah. So we came in, I think the original plan my senior year of high school was to be a Spanish major, actually. Oh, wow. Yeah. Spanish major. And then every student has to get a Bible minor. So I should rephrase, gets to have a Bible minor. I am a personal advocate of the Bible minor. Yeah. But so I was going to come and do Spanish. And then I think I was actually kind of changed that maybe the summer before coming to Cedarville. And I was like, oh, maybe I should just do like intercultural studies. And turns out Cedarville did not have that. And so from my remembrance, I think they just actually put me in Bible because they didn't have that major. And so I came in with Bible. And I was actually in missions because I think that was the closest thing they had to intercultural studies, is a Bible major with missions as a concentration. And then I was going to do an additional Spanish minor. So I ended up dropping the Spanish minor just because it wasn't what I preferred. And nothing against the Spanish major or minor at Cedarville, just not for me. So I ended up dropping that. And then through my time at Cedarville, actually, I think through Prenty specifically, and again, just kind of back to the whole idea of discipleship and doing life with one another as the Lord calls us to, I started thinking, okay, how can I use my time at Cedarville academically to prepare me for the future? Yeah. And while I think I could absolutely do that with a concentration in missions, I started to be really drawn to counseling. My parents are actually both biblical counselors and have had a massive influence on me, and just seeing their love for the Lord, their dedication to his word has really impacted me. So I think just coming out of that home life into Cedarville and seeing how important it is to have discipleship, I wanted to learn how to do biblical counseling. So I switched to biblical counseling from there. So that was kind of my journey, and yeah, cool. That's where I am now. So
you've been taking that, was that sophomore year you said you switched?
Mm-hmm.
Sophomore year. So you've been taking it for 3 years. How has the coursework been? Like, have you enjoyed all the classes? And what were some of the biggest things that you learned? And as counseling, can you go into a church right after undergrad, or do you have to do postgrad after that?
You can take it a few different ways. So you could go into a church. You could also, do a nonprofit or something like that. I think I personally want to actually go into some sort of job in a secular field and use biblical counseling as a way to evangelize and disciple there. Okay. Yeah. And then also do counseling more like unofficially in the local church. Okay. So, yeah.
Cool. So how has, like, after the 3 years of taking that specific major, how have you enjoyed it? The professors, I mean, the professors at Cedarville are pretty cool.
Top notch.
Specifically in the Bible department. The guys that I've all had there are fantastic. Yeah. So how has the experience of this concentration in biblical counseling been?
Yeah, it's been incredible. I tell people I don't know what else I would be at Cedarville for, or at college for. I think a Bible major is not for the faint of heart. There are so many books that we get assigned. So the reading and the study is very rigorous. There are high expectations, but I think it should be that way. Like, we are handling the word of God, and we are being equipped of how to care for people's souls. And I think there's weight that comes to that. There's responsibility that comes to that. So I'm glad that we are being equipped in the way that we are, and it's not something that the professors are handling flippantly. And I think the assignments and the reading reflect the weight that they do put on it appropriately. So I have really enjoyed it. It's challenging, it's hard, but I think I have grown so much in my walk with the Lord, and just personally, the things that I'm learning in my classes. And I love the Bible professors as well. They are just dedicated men and women who love God's word and who are passionate about teaching us as the next generation how to handle his word faithfully as well. So I think conversations that I've had with some people just in the Bible faculty will probably stay with me forever, just being very impacted by them. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've obviously, like, music and biblical counseling, that's a cool combination to have.
Yeah.
That's like the Swiss Army knife in the church. Like, that's pretty, like, you're able to do a lot of things and serve in a lot of really cool ways. But I want to get back to Cedarville experience. What were some of the things that you actually did other than classes, other than obviously living in Printy? What were some, like, the social things you were able to get involved in? Chapel band, all of those things.
Yeah. So I'll just start with chapel band. That's a great one. So last year, my junior year, I had the privilege of serving on a chapel band, which was a great experience. I served with some people who've become close, dear friends of mine, people who are humble, and who are also faithful just to biblical worship. And so, I was really able to learn from them, just to watch them and how they handle themselves on a platform at Cedarville. And I was just able to learn and grow a lot from that ministry. So that was definitely one. My freshman year, I was involved with CU Outreach. There's a group of students that goes to Wright State, which is about 30 minutes away from Cedarville, and literally walks the halls and just shares the gospel with students, which was so intimidating. I was like, what am I doing? But again, just through that ministry too, just saw the Lord work in really life-changing ways in my own heart, just showing me, again, just the value of sharing the gospel with others. So that was really sweet. I've done intramurals, done volleyball. I've, been at the pickleball courts once or twice. Actually, we played the other
culture at
day.
Cedarville. Yeah, we played the other day.
Did you win?
No, you guys beat us.
Did we?
Played awful. Remember, I kept hitting the top of the net every time I'd hit. Because I like to play right on top of the net and it drops down. And I just went straight into the net every time.
That's right.
So, yeah, you guys beat us pretty good.
Yes. I forgot.
It was not my best moment. But it's fun. Pickleball's fun sport. I mean, it's like it's like a very huge culture at Cedarville.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can play it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right by volleyball, so everybody's hanging out there.
Right.
So it's fun. Well, I want to mention this will be coming out. This opportunity will happen in a few days after this dropped. What's the date of your live performance?
Yeah,
I want to shout out to that.
Yeah. The next show is September 13th. We'll be back sometime in the evening, probably at 7 p.m. So, shameless plug.
Yeah.
Also come out.
You guys should definitely check that out. I think that'll be cool to see. Hopefully I'm able to make it.
Yeah.
With class council, you never know weekends. But the class council is such a blessing to be on. Like our team's great this year. We got Felipe. Love
Felipe.
big. I don't remember the full slogans, but it's big love, basically, is the idea. Yeah, it's two things. Either. It's on the t-shirt. I can see it in my head right now, but it's not going to come to my brain. Because we were loved students. Big, so we should love others big. Right. Is the whole idea, but I don't remember the actual slogan.
Not either.
That's crazy.
It's fine.
In the administration.
First day of classes, though.
First day. So we're fine. But yeah. So what do you have, so after, obviously, senior year, do you have any plans post-grad of what you want to do with everything going on? Yeah.
Are you talking like music or major or both?
I'd say both. What's next? What are some of the dreams you have with it? What do you think?
Yeah, great question. So directly after I graduate in December of this year, actually, I'm going to Spain for a couple months for some mission work. From like January to April. So very, very excited about that. And then after that, I'll probably go back home to Savannah, Georgia, where I live. And yeah, music, it's so funny because people, keep asking me, what are you going to do with this? I have no idea. I have no idea how I even got here. So I just keep praying. Lord, I will continue to do this whole music thing as long as you keep opening doors, and he does. So that's kind of my mentality is, it is such a gift to be able to just write these little songs, in my room and then share them with people. And, people are relating to them and, being impacted by them. It's crazy to me, that can happen. But yeah, I just this whole time kind of been praying like, Lord, you direct this, wherever you want to lead this, I will go. And he has. So I think even following Cedarville, it's kind of like that's going to be my prayer moving forward. It's just wherever the Lord wants this to move, then I will just do that as well. Yeah. So that's the plan as of now.
That's an amazing story. Well, I think kind of close to the end here. Sure. This has been an amazing conversation. I wanted to have this with you, just shine a light. Hearing you sing, it's really cool. It's very cool to hear it. Like, you have an amazing voice.
Thank
and
you.
You're using it to glorify God, which is the coolest thing, even if it's not directly like Christian contemporary worship or hymns in the church. There's no law that says it has to be that. You can use it in other ways to impact others. And then it's cool to hear like you want to use your major, even if it's not being an actual counselor, but using the skills that you're learning to go into the workplace. That's where a lot of it's the one-on-one, the small groups of people. That's where the actual evangelism and growth happens. Because it's very tough to reach people whenever they're one in the audience of thousands.
Right.
It's very hard to find them. Just like I had an opportunity to go to a small house church plant in Pittsburgh, and it was just the core team in the house there. There was like 30 people or 20 people, including kids, were all running around making a bunch of noise. And you knew everyone, and everyone saw you, and you were introduced to everyone. Yeah. And then they have like an evangelistic church service Monday nights at a coffee shop.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
you all know everyone there. They're talking about everyone there. They're praying about everyone there.
Mm.
So it's really a one-on-one experience. It's not just like, oh, there's the rock star on the stage. It's like, I'm talking to you. I care about you. I want to serve you.
Yeah.
And it's very cool to see other people willing and wanting to do that.
Sure.
Because if we all do our part, the collective can move forward. And we can't sit on the sidelines.
Right.
So
absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone, I want you to check out her Instagram. Do you have a YouTube or is it just Instagram?
Just Instagram.
Just Instagram.
Yeah.
Those will be down below because I'm going to say her name wrong again. Fennell.
Fennell.
There we go.
There you go. Yep, got it.
Sounds cooler than fennel.
Thank you. Yes.
But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you gathered something awesome from this. Check her out. And if you're in Cedarville, go watch her in a few days. Yes. 13th? September 13th.
September 13th.
Let's go. We'll see you there. Bye-bye, guys.
Sweet. Let's go.